let's go ahead and try this out. It should just start right away now. Actually, it's still doing it. Looks like the relay's broken too. Shucks.
Oh yeah.
So this is the inside of the ignition switch. This part here goes over the top there. And it's my guess that the burn contact, or where it's had all that heat right here, is where it's failing. Anyway, that's what makes the ignition switch fail, is you just got these little contacts, and when you twist it to certain positions, it completes the circuit and then sends power out through the little plug here. So the bottom part of this, you just got little clips here, here, and here. This goes like that. The ignition switch lives right here. It goes right on the back side of your ignition lock. And it's got two screws that hold it in. There's one that goes in this hole and another one in the bottom that goes in this hole. To get it in and out, you want to unplug the plug from it. There's just a small buckle on the side. I love Honda fasteners. They're fantastic. Like I say, there's just one that goes right here. It's just a small Phillips. And believe me, if I can do this with one hand, you can do it with two. Now you may complain that you can't see it, but that's okay. I can't see it either. I just know that you have to have a screw right up in here. You just run the screwdriver, like I say, right up in between the airbag plug in here. If you're nervous about the airbag plug, you can always disconnect your battery. But as long as you don't horse it or yank on it or pull it crazy, you're going to be fine. With or without using two hands, I'm having a hard time doing this. So I'm going to magnetize the screw by dropping it through this guy or pushing it through this guy. Once you do that, it aligns the electrons in it and it makes it so it'll stick to your screwdriver. No, this is not a prank, this is not a joke, this is magnetism. So if you do the screwdriver too, that helps. Just run it along the side there. So now the screw will stay on the screwdriver a lot better, make it a lot easier. I'll put a link in the description where you can find more details about that or buy one. So the bad ignition switch will burn out a relay pretty quick. So we're going to have to do the relay as well, unfortunately. So I'm racking my brain. I'm hooking up the tone generator. I'm tracing the circuit. I'm trying to find where the other end of this is, because it seems like some kind of relay or some connection's failing. And so I go to check this. Check the terminals, and you can see there's a bunch of corrosion inside of this one. It's all fat, and then on top of that it's loose. I can pull it off with my hands and you can see that it's tightened down as far as it'll go and then some. We're going to replace this negative cable. I've got some of this fat stuff left over from working at the dealership stripping the stereos out of stuff. So I've got the power probe in the signal wire to the starter, and I've got it set so that it makes tone when I have the thing on. So I think it's a load issue. See, as I'm cranking it, I've got load the whole time there. So we'll put it on the starter. Of course, I've messed with this now, so it'll probably just work all the time. No, it's still doing it. Alright, so let's put the tone thing on and just listen for it to be skipping on and off, because that's what we want to know. We want to know if the signal's skipping or if it's because of load. So let's see what happens here. It's showing ground until I hit it. Then it should go to tone. That was weird. I never once heard that go to power tone. Of course I can't see it because I'm not there. Not once did I hear that do the... weird. Here's a new cable. Of course I wrap it in electrical tape because it's red. You don't want... and this is black, so somebody would hook it up backwards for sure. But the more I look at this thing, the more I'm like, wow, that was fat and corroded. There's no way that should have been able to pass enough amps to let the starter run. So we'll try again. I held on too long because I was expecting it to skip. But that's what the problem was apparently. Nope, it's still doing it. What the heck? When I go in and run power right to the starter, it sounds like this. No hiccups or breaks. Usually, that's as long as you ever want to do a starter. But I did it just a second ago and it did respond poorly. It was all crazy. It was just weird. And you go to try it from in here, maybe it'll be fine here too. And it was. But if it did it funny from here the one time, maybe it is a solenoid. So it's acting like a bad connection somewhere. So I tightened down where the battery cable goes on and the solenoid, and they were both just a little bit loose. On the label that says that it's a remanufactured starter from Action Alternators and Starters. It's been remanned, maybe in a hurry, I don't know. But now when you go to start it, starts up, try it again. Do it again. I thought it was a bad connection in the ignition switch. I thought it was a bad connection from the negative battery cable, and it turns out it was a bad connection at the starter. And I think it was a concert of all of those problems. Whereas the battery cable was all fat with corrosion, that created poor contact. That could have contributed to the burn mark on the ignition switch, and it could have contributed to an issue at the starter. Well, anyway, that was a new one. I win.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to click like and subscribe.
It seems like when things wear out or break on their own, you see it repeated in other vehicles, and it makes it easier to diagnose going forward. And again, when you're understanding of the different systems in a car, you can see, well, this is where the system broke down. But when you have problems that are caused by another mechanic, especially ones that cause an intermittent thing, boy, that makes it a lot harder to diagnose. I win.